Hello, everyone. Welcome on the Book Talk. My name is Iradukunda Benoit, and I'm your host for today. The book up for discussion today is Leadership on the Line, and I'm going to be discussing it alongside Patrick Carechesi. Patrick, you're most welcome on the show.
Right. Thank you so much, Ben. I'm really glad that today you are, hosting me.
Okay. Today we're discussing Leadership on the Line. The title itself is very catchy. Patrick, you've read the book.
Yeah, I've read the book, and I can really testify that it's one of the finest books that I've been exposed to. From the way it's structured, trying to show us different ways we can treat ourselves, not just with people, but in our careers, in our professional journeys, in our businesses, and indeed, because leadership is something that we have in our daily lives. How you lead yourself, how do you conduct yourself. It's a whole big concept that we need to explore. I would advise anyone to look out for the book, The Leadership
on the Line. Yeah. And as part of the book, there's a point where he talks about change.
Yeah.
And I love his perspective on change. He says that people are not afraid of change.
Yeah.
People are afraid of loss.
They're afraid of loss. And that's true,
And how so? Because I've been trying to, understand this whole concept, but it seems a little bit unintelligible to some degree, because sometimes I feel like people resist change, not necessarily loss.
Ben, I don't really think so, because most people are really willing to change. People are willing to leave a certain stage of life to move to another one. They're willing to have a new experience in everything. But the question is, what are they losing?
So should that be taken literally, that if for change to happen, you have to lose something?
Literally, because you're getting rid of the old thing to become the new thing.
Okay.
So you're losing something that you craved, that you loved. So most people are afraid of that. Like, imagine you've been growing your career for the last 10 years, and then they're saying there is a new technological advancement. You need to change now to the new technological advancement. And then what happens is the knowledge that you'd groomed for the last 10 years goes to waste, literally.
Totally. So, and I feel like change is not always material or tangible things. It can even be leaving your comfort zone.
Exactly.
You're losing the comfort.
You're losing your comfort zone.
Accustomed to.
I've been doing my things, comfortably with ease, and now I'm being exposed to a new reality.
Totally.
The hard world. The school of hard knocks, okay? And now if I'm exposed to that kind of reality and I've not been prepared for it, then definitely life is going to be very difficult. So I want to change, but I'm afraid of what I will lose. So I will resist change and resist loss at the same time.
Yeah, and there's a part where it talks about solving situations, solving scenarios, and I love his point of view on that. There is a point where he speaks about being on the balcony and being part of...
Being on the dance floor.
Yes, on the dance floor.
In other words, he's trying to say that you contemplate in action. Okay? So this is what happens. Like, you're in a situation, everything is happening so fast.
Yeah.
But then, do you seem to run with a situation, or even in the situation you try to think of the actions you're putting out? This is so philosophical. But then I can try to simplify in this way.
Yeah.
For instance, we're having maybe a journey where perhaps, let's say, marathon, we're running from here to a certain place, okay?
Yes.
So as you're busy taking off, there is this need to always rethink what you're doing. For instance, like this what happens, somebody's having some sort of career, something they're pursuing.
Yes.
So they tend to set goals that are trying to achieve. But then in the middle of everything, things are moving so fast, you're enjoying, and then you either become extravagant with actions, or you become reckless in a way, or you become mindless. You start never to care about what's happening around you. And at the end of the day, you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're not thinking about your actions, okay? And this implies that the results may not be the exact things that you actually intended to have. For instance, the world developed, okay? But they never thought about climate change, okay? And now, as they're busy setting up industries kind of thing, there was little contemplation in action, okay? And now we're having the outcomes or the consequences of the intended good back in the days, right now.
In other words, people should innovate responsibly.
Definitely. You should not just see innovation. Innovate responsibly. Think responsibly. Act responsibly. Whatever you plan to do, make sure it's not a simple trail, as a direct journey that you're taking. Always have a point of stopping and examining.
Totally. And he also talks about doing more interpretations. let's say there is a scenario that is occurred. Before you jump into a conclusion, you need to do more interpretations, view it from different angles, and most people do not do those many interpretations because as humans, we are emotional beings, so we're most likely to pick a side
without even thinking.
Exactly.
It happens a lot.
Yes.
And I like the point when you say that we humans are emotional beings.
Yeah.
And true, humans are political animals, okay?
Okay.
So this is what happens.
Yeah.
So you move, maybe me and you are busy fighting, we are hitting each other.
Yeah.
Somebody just comes in and the question is, if they're having a point where they are benefiting, they will definitely take the point where they gain, okay? And if they're taking from the point where they gain, then they're taking a side without clear interpretation of the situation. Yeah. It goes beyond this sometimes. You can be in a meeting, in a board meeting, and then people are raising points. People, maybe you don't agree necessarily with what's being discussed. And now how do you bring in your point of view that is controversial, that is unconventional, that is not communal accepted, okay? And this is a point where you have to read the atmosphere.
And this is the point of view that those people may not stand to gain from.
Yes, definitely, because they could be threatened in a way because they don't want the change. So you have to read the atmosphere, make sure, they used to call it greasing the skids, you know, trying to do things to impress before you can bring the thing that people don't actually like. Wow. And it's as easy as this, like get into the system, okay, be a transformer in a way, get into the system, be part of it, understand it, then slowly bring about change. If it's that kind of meeting, if it's that kind of organization that people are talking about things you don't agree with, don't just shout, be like, no, I don't like this. Hey, no, be part of them.
I love the bit
understand them.
Yeah, I love the bit about being part of the system before you even change it. We're most likely to just judge it from the outside without being a part of it, to, you know, be part of it. And then
if you're not part of the system, then you can never understand it best.
Exactly, totally.
And always at the end of the day, your interpretation of it will be biased in a way. Are you benefiting from it? You see, people that are working in a number of organizations that are really doing great, and then from our point of view, we'll be saying that those guys are wasting time, okay? But then we don't, one of the reasons why we could say they're wasting time is because we are not benefiting. But if it benefits you, you definitely say it's working out, okay?
Totally.
So be part of the system, okay? Try to understand the system. Try to bring in new change, but as a member, not as a rebel.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And to our viewers, the book Leadership on the Line may sound controversial. It may sound as if leadership is really on the line. And of course, I'm very sure some people expect at least some solutions from the book. If I'm a leader and I'm going through a crisis, I feel like there are certain things every leader should embody. What are those specific things you feel every leader should embody so that they can manage to tackle almost every challenge that comes their way? Yeah,
I think one of the biggest things that I admire about leaders that really do great things is trying to be empathetic. Being empathetic is like you understanding things from all points of view. You're resonating with the feelings of the people in the context.
Yes.
Not simply standing back and then questioning, why is thing going wrong? No. Jump onto it. Feel with them. Be like them. Experience it. Then create around it.
So being empathetic is similar to also being part of the system.
I could say in the context, not the literal way. And then the other thing is, I think one of this necessarily because we're all leaders in our different contexts, in our own rights, okay? I feel we need to learn to starve our hungers, okay? Like for instance, you crave a lot for things that may be good for now, but may not necessarily push you to the next level that you intend to reach, okay? So I think it's also good that we learn to starve our hungers, so that we build our focus. If you want to get to something, maybe a goal that you've set, there are so many things that are going to keep diverting you, pushing you off trail, okay? So what you need to do is get to know your weaknesses by investing more in yourself, by investing in understanding every single context you're in, and then starve all those weaknesses.
Yeah, to get to where you want to get.
Definitely. To get where, because we're all humans, and no human is a saint, Yes, we are imperfect in our imperfect ways. But when we learn to capitalize on our imperfections to make them our strengths, then we become accepted beings, perfect, according to certain people, in their points of view.
Totally agree. Yes, Patrick, when people around you stop questioning you, you lose your sense of self-criticism.
Yeah.
How can a leader mitigate this situation?
Okay, so look at a situation where you're the leader
Yes.
and the people you're leading are simply following you. If they are simply following you and then you get something wrong, then definitely you're not going to get to the point you want to be. It's like you're blind and the people following you are equally blind. Okay?
Yeah, I see.
You will not know your blind spots. You will not know your personal weaknesses. In other words, criticism helps us kind of discover our inner selves, the things that we do wrong, and try to rectify them along the way. Okay? And that's where the point of contemplating in action plays in. If we are on a journey and maybe we are leading a group of people as a leader or any individual in this kind of context, what you need to do is you need to embrace criticism. Like, let people question your motives, question your actions. Okay?
Yes.
When they question and you embrace the questions, then you go deeper and rethink.
Yeah,
People
sure.
often say that not everything that people talk about, perhaps what you do is right. Okay? But I want to say that there is already certain truths attached to certain things. So you just
Totally.
need to be open to always go deeper.
Yes. And what happens when you are the leader and probably the smartest in the room? And I see this with some leaders. You are the smartest in the room, and the kind of people you're leading, you are way more advanced than them. So those leaders are most likely not to take any criticism from their subordinates because they feel like their criticism may not be true because they are smarter than
They
them.
think they are smart.
Exactly. What would you say to
And that's a
those leaders?
perception. That's a wrong perception. I want to believe that no one is smart in this world, okay? We are only smart because of collective knowledge that we've gained from people, from spaces. Even the person that you're leading and you think you're smarter than them, they can add value to you, okay? What you need to do is just see people through their lenses of potential, not their inabilities. Don't diminish their potential, magnify their abilities.
Totally.
Every human needs to be, told that they are great. They need to be affirmed. They need to be given direction so that they can enhance their competencies. Every human needs that kind of delight, in whatever they're doing. And as a leader, it's a role you need to play.
Totally. And to add a little bit on that, as a leader, you should also make an effort to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, who are more experienced than you. Consult people who are bigger than you. Recently, there was an article by the New Times, and they were talking about the advisors, Presidential Advisory Council for His Excellency Paul Kagame. And when I was going through the names, these are very big people, very big people. And yes, as a leader, it's very important to surround yourself with people who are experienced in different areas to, give you that kind of criticism you need, that kind of guidance that you need. Yes.
And by so doing, when you do it, then definitely you'll be able to go through the struggles as a leader and then thrive and bring the change that everyone anticipates, everyone wishes for. The more people you engage, the more broad you become, the bigger your spans of experience are, and even your relevance in all you do. So it's all like that.
Yes, Patrick, thanks for being part of the show. Keep tuned in for more videos like this that will change your life or even change the way you see life. Thank you so much. Keep tuned in.
Thank you.